my giant-sized fan things. How are you all doing? Today I'm taking a look at something that I've wanted for a fair few years now. Yeah, it's Trypticon, the Titan's Return version of Trypticon, or Titan's Return. What I said? No, either way, Trypticon, the giant Decepticon city Titan transformer. Loved him in the original cartoon. He's in some of my favourite episodes, most notably Call of the Primitives. He's just one I really like. He spent most of the episodes I saw him in fighting against Metroplex, which is cool. You want two Titans fighting against each other. Though admittedly most of the time he ended up getting the short end of the stick and thrown in the ocean. But hey, he was still cool. And what was really cool, his original toy. I've never owned a Trypticon, like the original one. Never even actually seen one in person, but from the look of it, I've always loved the look of it. It's just always been like amazing. And clearly I'm not the only one who thinks Trypticon is really cool, because back when they did Titan's Return in 2018, I'm going to say, I could possibly be wrong. 2018? Yeah, I'm gonna guess and say 2018. When they released the Titan's Return line, they released Trypticon as their Titan class figure. Not only that, but when they did the Transformers Titan's Return cartoon by Machinima, he was the big bad of the series, which again was really damn cool. And recently I was able to get I was able to procure a Trypticon, and I'm going to review him. Oh, and just one other thing, that this is the Takara release version, which I didn't know when I bought it. Normally they go for a lot more than the regular one, but I apparently managed to get this one because the seller either didn't know the difference or just didn't care. So good for me. Well, one thing about this figure I was going to say is I haven't put the stickers on it because this figure comes with a 150 stickers. Yeah, 150 stickers. No freaking way am I putting 150 stickers on anything. Forget that. But anyway, Trypticon, I will start off with him in his Decepticon City mode, or his base mode. And this thing looks really cool. I'm not going to lie. I really like this. It's huge. I'm going to film this outside because I have nowhere inside where I can get the lighting right. Plus, he just looks good in natural lighting, and that's two of my regular filming on boards together. He's mahoosive, I think is the correct term. He's really cool. He looks a lot like his original G1 version. There's a few things missing. The original G1 version had a lot of little extra pieces you could add onto this mode to make it look a bit more, I'm not going to say interesting, but rather detailed, or just some few little bits. There's nothing wrong at all with this mode. I really like it. It's got this great translucent green highway going through it that catches the light really well. Looks like a lot of modern architecture. Looks really cool. It's an interesting shape as well. It's a main city ramp going up to what looks like, city towers. It has these large orange generator type things at the far extremities of it, and these little helicopter landing bays. They're cool. It has two little side ramps. It has a space in the centre which looks like there's a little tiny door. I'm guessing it's for Titan Masters because they're going to be kind of the right scale, and this thing is just covered with little tiny Titan Master posts, so you could stick them around there if you wanted to. And yeah, I think it looks really cool. As I said, have a look now comparing it to the original version. It's very similar. You can see those little greebly bits they've had done, radar dishes, gun emplacements, the stickers, which I think do add a lot to city mode. I might end up sticking them on, I don't really know yet, but you can see it's actually not a bad little modern representation of it. It looks really cool. And speaking of really cool, one thing the figure does come with is his little city companion, I think is the right term for it, Full Tilt, who is normally connected to that little centre purple tower, but you can disconnect him, and he's a little tiny robot in a little tiny car mode. It looks really cool, and it does the one thing you really want him to do, which is roll down the ramp perfectly. Goes down there really well, shoots off the end. It's amazing, and he even transforms into a little robot. Looks good. He's got a Titan Master as a head. I don't really think I'll ever have them separate because I don't like the idea of him being a Titan Master. I'll come to a bit later on what my opinions on what they've done with the character that became his Titan Master head, but Either way, his robot mode looks really cool. It's like the size of a deluxe figure, and it's well articulated, it's well sculpted. It's a bit plain in the purple, but yet again, I think there are stickers on that big sheet for him that might add some more detail, but either way, he's a nice modern version of his classic toy design, which was basically 2 moving arms and a 1 big mono foot on a knee joint. His original toy wasn't much, but this one takes that design idea and sort of takes it to a more modern place. It looks really cool. Now, one thing I was disappointed with this figure is that it doesn't come with Brunt, which was this little tank thing, like a maser tank from Godzilla, if you know what they're like. That used to break apart and connect him in different places to sort of like accentuate parts of City Mode or part of his other modes. But unfortunately, Titans Return Trypticon doesn't come with him. Luckily, however, during Siege, they did release Brunt as a weaponizer, one of the robots that comes apart and becomes weapons. So yeah, I went and picked him up, and he looks really good with Trypticon. Here he is in robot mode on Trypticon. The purples look really good together, there's a lot of colour matches, he looks great, he fits in really well. He's got a very industrial feel to him, which again fits in really well with Trypticon, and his vehicle mode is just a great recreation of his G1 version's vehicle mode. Well, his G1 version didn't have a robot mode, it was just a vehicle that's split into little parts to attach to Trypticon. So here, yeah, he looks really cool. He looks good just on the place, or just, I don't know, patrolling around Trypticon, keeping flyers out of the way. I really do like them. They look good together. And yeah, because they were released at different times, there isn't like really an official way to attach Brunt to Trypticon in City Mode. But I thought I'd give it a shot. I did a few little ideas. Mainly just involves turning his arms into some extra security checkpoints on the main ramp, and turning the rest of his body into 2 individual, differently designed anti-aircraft protection guns. It's nothing major, but I think they work. I think they're integrating quite well. Now, Trypticon City Mode is scaled mainly for Titan Masters. You can put them with like modern deluxes and Voyagers, like here, like Earthrise Megatron and Soundwave, and a full tilter he comes with, but he kind of works best with smaller ones like, I don't know, Micro Masters or the Battle Masters. As I said, Titan Masters is probably like the best scale to make him look like an actual large city, but just having him as a small base like this, it still works really well. I can't complain about it. I think it looks really cool. Now, as I said before, there was one thing I wasn't quite happy about, and I'll bring it up now while it's on my mind. The Titan Master head of Full Tilt is Necro, who looks okay, but really he's based on Wipeout, who was the well, he wasn't in the cartoon, he only really appeared in the comic books, and in the comic books he was basically a blue repaint of Tailgate, and I kind of wish we'd had that. I mean, I don't mind having him as a Titan Master. I say I don't use him as a Titan Master figure, he's just the head that stores in his body. But I kind of wish we'd got a version of the Power of the Primes Tailgate figure, just painted in the dark blue. I think they would look really, really good with him, but we haven't got it. We might get eventually, or I might track one down and try a bit of that plastic dyeing with some RIT dye. It's something I'm actually tempted to do. And now on to Trypticon's other mode. Now in the original toy it was a battle station mode, bristling with guns. It looked really good. And as you can see, it's 90% the same as his city mode, just some things folded up, extra guns put on, towers turning into guns, and the Brunt cannon stuck on the top. This figure does do that quite similarly, but rather than being a battle station mode, they turned him into a spaceship. And it looks okay. I don't mind it. I actually think it does look quite cool. The sort of like faux Trypticon face at the front of it looks really good. It's compact compared to his other mode. It's sleek and kind of aerodynamic, despite having like ridiculously tiny wings, which clearly do nothing. But if it's going to be a jet or a spaceship, it needs wings, doesn't it? I think it looks okay. I mean, as you can see here, you can just stick Full Tilt on the top in his vehicle mode. He fits in fine with those large cannons and the cannon at the front of where he pegs in. You might be able to use, or if you want, you can use Trypticon's toes as cannons. It looks alright. What's kind of cool is that the front end opens up and it's got a large space, large-ish space inside. and you can fit full tilt in there. Admittedly, you've got to put him into vehicle mode to do it, but you know, it's a thing you can do. I think it's interesting to have him in there piloting it if that's what you want. Yeah, and yet again, like, there's no like official way to attach Brunt. That's almost forgot his name then. To attach Brunt, but a little bit of ingenuity, you can get it done. Yet again, a pair of cannons on the front, putting his claw arm thing, just attach them to the side of Trypticon's main cannons to bulk them out a bit, to make them look a little bit less like their tower forms. It's really, really cool. Okay, now, the big thing. Trypticon in his T-Rex Godzilla mode. I suppose you can call it a robot mode, though it's not really all that. It's a huge dinosaur mode, let's just call it that. Trypticon looks amazing like this. This is the showstopper mode. His Godzilla-esque proportions, the fins going down his back, that large mouth, those tiny, pathetic T-Rex arms, and those big stompy legs. The way the tail swoops underneath to help him stand and give him like a really interesting silhouette. Or just, it looks amazing. All topped off with that lovely orange translucent screen on top of his head that flips open when you attach a Titan Master to the back of his head, revealing his Trypticon middle of the forehead laser cannon, which was sometimes drawn as being his eyes, sometimes it just was a cannon. And he looks really, really good with it. I kind of love it. I'm going to struggle to display him in even this mode, but he looks amazing. Look at the purples, the greys, the oranges, the blues, the tealy blues. You couldn't get more like late 80s season 3 Decepticon than these colour schemes. They're quintessential Decepticon colours. And here he is next to some other quintessential Decepticons. I've got him next to Brunt just as a scale thing. He's next to Earthrise, Megatron and Starscream. As you can see, he's not like as big as he probably should be. In the show, if you'd do him like show scale, he'd probably be about 6 foot tall, so that's off the cards. Here, he still looks good, he still looks large and imposing. I really like it. He looks, as I said, like a Titan. When you say the word Titan, this is what I think of, this sort of scaling, because any bigger, okay, yeah, he could always be bigger. If it was possible for me to take this figure and make him, let's say, 6 foot tall, I would do it. If I had an extra house to keep him in, yeah. But he looks really good at this scale, and I can't complain whatsoever. And here he is with the other members of his team, Full Tilt, Brunt and Necro. And you might be wondering, well, how's he got a head if there's also a Necro? I'm not entirely sure on this. I don't know if the seller had an extra Titan Master Necro, but when he sent it to me, there was already one on Trypticon's head and one on Full Tilt. Now, this might just be a thing of the Takara release, or I might just be very, very lucky. But, you know, I've got all three of them and Trypticon together, and they do look good, I'm not going to lie. I wish that Necro was Wipeout and he was a dark blue version of the Power of the Prime's tailgate. That would have been the perfect... That would have made all these three, like the set of all four of them, sorry, perfect. But I can't complain for things that don't exist or things that might exist. I can only judge this figure on what it is, and what it is bloody brilliant. I mean, it's his heads and... I mean, look, here he is next to Grimlock, the other big dinosaur in my collection. And Grimlock's a large leader class figure, and he dwarfs him. He absolutely makes him look minute. It's brilliant. It looks like a T-Rex and a baby T-Rex. It's amazing. I honestly love this. Okay, so... Oh yeah, another thing. You know the upcoming Kingdom figure, the Ark, their Titan class figure. I'm going to have to get that, because in the old cartoon, Trypticon destroyed the Ark and Teletran won. And I think having the two of them squaring off against each other would be really cool, because I don't really want to pick up the 30th anniversary Metroplex, because that thing's really expensive and a bit too lanky in my opinion. But stick them up against the Ark, I think they're going to look really, really cool. Anyway folks, that's it. What do I think of this figure? Or this... I keep calling it a figure, this installation, this shelf filler on legs. It's this massive, this small child, let's put it that way. I carry this thing around, it is like carrying a small child. I absolutely love it. If you can track down a copy, which I think you can still see them, they float around on eBay or like Facebook groups every now and again. If you can get a copy, the Takara release or the Titan's Return, I recommend picking them up. They're really great, and they're really worth it, and they're really fun, and they also really take up a lot of space. I actually still don't know where I'm going to put him But I will, even if I have to buy an extra shelf, I'll buy an extra shelf just to display him because he's that good and I need him in my collection. He's so wonderful. Anyway folks, that was it. I hope you enjoyed my review, as much as I can call it review and not just a rant and me gushing on about this figure. And I hope it's been helpful or at least entertaining, and yeah, that's it. So until next time folks, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, keep on rolling, and I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!